What is up, my fellow beasts? Welcome back to a new video. Finally, I am able to bring you guys a new video after 5 days with a super sore throat. I am back, boys. I guarantee you, I didn't get a sore throat from sucking that Call of Duty's, let's say, banana, like some of our favorite YouTubers like doing. I promise I didn't buy any Call of Duty points and whatever. But yeah, I am back, and today I am bringing you my top 10 guns that were godly at first and now they are just garbage. This is about recent guns and also about guns from classic Call of Duty games. So pretty much this is gonna be about guns that at first were so insane, they were so overpowered that after they got patched or when they returned in a new Call of Duty game, when compared to what they could do before, they just felt like garbage. And that is why most of the guns on this list are not used anymore. They went from being godly to just being normal or crappy guns. So this video was a suggestion by a subscriber that for some reason asked me not to give him a shout out. I guess he doesn't want that delicious YouTube fame. So yeah, I respect that and thank you very much, my friend, for your suggestion. So with no further ado, at the number 10 position we have the A12 from Modern Warfare 2. This is a crazy shotgun, super easy mode to use in MW2. It is very, very good. It is fully automatic, so it takes no skill to use. You just press the trigger button and it completely devours people, especially if you are using extended mags. You can kill like 3 or 4 people super fast in a row. It is insane. It also has a very good range. It is so good that you don't even need to use stopping power on this beast. Most of the time I just like using lightweight so I can run around all over the place like a diabolic nightmare. So this is a very popular shotgun in MW2. It is mostly used by campers because it is so good at close range, and if you are inside a building and you have an A12, no motherfucker is storming that building and killing your ass as long as you have that cheeky A12 and as long as you are paying attention to your surroundings. And it is also very used by snipers who just want a very good gun for close range. So this is a godlike shotgun in MW2. Then it came back in MW3 and people were super excited for the return of the beast A12, but unfortunately it just sucks in MW3. It is probably the worst shotgun in the game. It went from being a godlike shotgun in MW2, one of the best, to being the worst, and that is why, ladies and gentlemen, no one uses the A12 in MW3. Then we have the SPAS-12 from Modern Warfare 2. In MW2, the SPAS-12 is probably the greatest shotgun ever in the Call of Duty games. It's just insane. It's a pump action shotgun, so at first you think that it takes a little bit of skill to use, but we're talking about the SPAS-12, man. It takes no skill to use even though it's a pump action shotgun. It is a one-shot kill. It has a very long range, which is great, and because it is so powerful and it has such a good range, it is mostly used in MW2 by rushers, by people who like running around like freaking beasts. And the SPAS-12, just like the A12, also returned in MW3, and people were especially super excited about this bad boy because this is the most popular shotgun in MW2, and they thought they were going to be destroying noobs with this thing just like they did previously, but that didn't happen because the SPAS-12 in MW3 is also garbage, my friends. How can the best shotgun in the Call of Duty history return as one of the worst? It's very hard to use because you get a lot of hit markers. The range isn't as good as it used to be. Is the SPAS-12 absolutely disgusting in MW3? Absolutely not. You can still do well with this thing, but it's not as good as the classic one, and that is why people just prefer using the Striker instead. Then we have at the number 8 position the little Vesper from Black Ops 3. So this is a cheeky SMG that at first was almost a little laser beam that insta-killed people. It just melted people at close range and also at medium range. So when Black Ops 3 came out, at first, this is the gun all the nerds were using. People started complaining about all the tryhards using the Vesper. So after the Vesper got nerfed, it pretty much died, it disappeared, it ripped. Everyone started using the VMP instead. Can you still do well with the Vesper? Yes, you can, but it's gonna be very hard because this thing is only good at very, very close range. So close that if an enemy is like 5 feet away from you, that's like sniper range for the Vesper, and you need to run for your life. You just don't look back, keep running, because most likely it's a nerd using a VMP and he's going to kill your ass. Then we have at the number 7 position the DSR-50 from Black Ops 2. So this sniper rifle at first was extremely insane. It was super easy to use because it had a very fast fire rate and also a very fast ADS time, I believe. So Black Ops 2 was infested with little quick scopers running around all over the place at close range. This thing looked like a shotgun. It didn't matter which gun you were using, you had no chance against all the little 10-year-olds using the DSR-50. So this thing got nerfed, and I think they just nerfed the fire rate. So all the quick scopers got mad because they couldn't spam this thing as they could before, so they started sending David Vonderhaar threat messages on Twitter saying that they were going to kick his ass, and they started making videos on YouTube also threatening Vonderhaar. And I'm pretty sure Vonderhaar was very scared of little 10-year-olds saying that they were going to kick his ass. But you know what, when you think about it, I guess he was really scared because I've heard somewhere that he hired bodyguards to protect him. So I mean, what the hell, Vonderhaar? Are you scared of little Jimmys? Man, that shit is crazy. Then we have at the number 6 position the MSBS from Call of Duty Ghosts. So this is a 3-round burst assault rifle that at first was a laser beam that could just insta-kill people at any range. At long range, it was a 1-burst kill. The same thing at medium range, and at close range, the hip firing was as good as the hip firing of an SMG, and that was just what? That is crazy. Usually 3-round burst guns are not very good at close range, but the damn thing looked like an SMG. It had no recoil and a very fast fire rate. So obviously all the nerds and their cousins were using the MSBS when Call of Duty Ghosts first came out. People started complaining about this thing being overpowered, so Infinity Ward decided to nerf the MSBS, and after the nerf it disappeared. It wasn't as overpowered as it used to be, so all the nerds started using the Honey Badger instead. Is the MSBS completely useless? Absolutely not. The thing is that it's not a 1-burst kill at long range all the time, and at close range it's not as good as an SMG, so it's still a good assault rifle that isn't easy mode. Then we have, ladies and gentlemen, at the number 5 position, the UMP-45 from Modern Warfare 2. This SMG is probably the best gun in MW2. It is crazy. I would even say it's better than the ACR. It has no recoil, it has a super high damage, it has assault rifle range, it can kill people with 3 bullets at long range, even if you have a silencer. In fact, I believe the silencer makes the UMP-45 better, and at close range you can just hip fire people for days. That's how good the hip firing is. So this is an all-round great gun, and that is why it is probably the most popular gun in MW2. It was used by everyone, and it's still used by a lot of people in MW2. So when the UMP-45, the God SMG, returned in MW3, all the nerds were super excited. We're like, oh my god, I'm gonna get triple nukes and whatever. In MW3 it's gonna be crazy, but unfortunately the UMP-45 returned as just an average SMG. It went from being godly to just being normal. What did they do to UMP-45? In MW3 it does less damage and it has way more recoil, so that's pretty much why it is barely used in MW3, because the MP7 and the PP90M1 are way better. Even the PM9 gets more action than the UMP-45. That says it all, ladies and gentlemen. Then we have at the number 4 position from Infinite Warfare, the Longbow sniper rifle. At first this thing was like a DSR-50 on steroids. It was so easy to use. I looked like Pamaj. And before I used the longbow, I think the last time I had used the sniper was like 2 years before. I don't snipe, I suck at sniping, and I was getting all kinds of quick scopes and also no scopes. The aim assist was super crazy, and the ADS time was so fast that you could ADS, look through the scope, and it was so fast that for the enemy player it most likely looked like a quick scope. So after the longbow was nerfed, all the little quick scopers disappeared, and it's just a normal sniper right now, and you don't see people using this thing anymore. Then we have at the number 3 position the Akimbo Model 1887. For a very long time this was the numero uno god gun in Call of Duty history. Before it was nerfed, this thing was absolutely insane. It had the range of what? Of an SMG? Something like that. It was a one-shot kill most of the time, and if it wasn't a one-shot kill, you had another shotgun on your other hand, so it was a one-shot kill anyways, because you could fire both shots at the same time. So obviously at first this thing was being abused by all freaking nerds. Everyone was using the Akimbo Model 1887. So Infinity Ward patched this thing, and after it got patched, obviously the range was reduced. It has, right now I think it has not even half of the range it had before, and pretty much everyone kind of like stopped using the Akimbo Model 1887, and that is when the AA12 and especially the SPAS 12 got popular. So pretty much everyone started using those shotguns instead. Then we have at the number 2 position the M1 Garand from Infinite Warfare. So this is a weapon, or this is a gun you can only get after you prestige. So people thought there were better options, because you had the UMP45, the SPAS 12, the Intervention Sniper. So they have different names in Infinite Warfare, by the way. I'm just saying their classic names. So those are the guns people were unlocking at first, but I'm pretty sure that after a few players unlocked the M1 Garand, people realized how overpowered this thing was, and out of nowhere everyone was using the M1 Garand because it was a one-shot kill at any part of the body. At close range, medium range, long range, it did not matter. As long as you were putting that one bullet on the enemy's body, you were getting that kill. So it was insane for a while. I think this lasted like a week or something, not even that, maybe just a few days. Then Infinity Ward patched this thing, and guess what happened? It was not a one-shot kill anymore at any range, and obviously all the nerds stopped using the M1 Garand, and you don't see it being used anymore. But do you know what is better than a one-shot kill at any range? Freaking aimbot. At the number 1 position, we have also from Infinite Warfare the Proteus sniper shotgun. This thing, when it was put in the game, had literally aimbot. It was insane. You guys can find gameplay on YouTube. Unfortunately, I didn't get to use this motherfucker when it had aimbot. So this thing was literally a god gun. You could kill people at any distance just by no scoping, just by hip firing. As long as the enemy was on your screen, as long as you could see the enemy, all you had to do was press the trigger button and the bullet would like follow the enemy and kill him. But this only lasted like 1 day or something like that. So after it got fixed, it didn't have aimbot anymore, and it went from being a godly gun to just being a gun that actually takes skill to use. It's not easy to use this sniper shotgun because you get a lot of hit markers. So obviously after it got nerfed, it completely disappeared. Maybe once in a while you might see a crazy motherfucker using this thing, but yeah, it's gone. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is my top 10 guns that were godly at first and now are just garbage. Let me know your opinion in the comment section below. If there are any guns I forgot to put on this video, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.